Paradox Interactive is a game development and publishing company known for their simulator games like Hoi 4, City Skylines, Victoria 2. A lot of people, including myself, have really good memories of their titles, and the communities around these games are really nice and wholesome. Games like City Skylines, Hoi 4 have fantastic communities, and if you're good at them, can be really enjoyable. But there is another side to Paradox games, one not generally spoken about, unless you're anyone, their DLC situation. Now, before we begin, I challenge anyone to find me a Paradox game that isn't filled with a metric ton of DLCs or content packs. The top three worst, in my opinion, are Hoi 4. Now, I'll speak more specifically about Hoi 4 later, but the game has a large amount of DLCs that are overpriced and at this point should just be added to the main game, because you need to buy at least the first three to have a game that isn't incomplete and broken. EU4 has so much extra DLC and content packs that they can barely all fit on my screen at once, with 15 content packs and all of them being at least $20 AUD. It's insane that Paradox can't add at least some of these to the base game, or lower the price on others. The worst example of this, however, is easily City Skylines. I can't comprehend a single valid argument as to why this game should have 50 paid expensive DLCs. I shouldn't even have to say anything. It's insane. Who the hell is even gonna buy It's All That Jazz, the radio pack? However, their DLC problem is not the only anti-consumer practice that pisses people off. Recently, they released their newest game, Victoria 3, the long-awaited sequel to Victoria 2, which is, in my opinion, one of the best Paradox games of all time, and one of the least well known. Most people that were excited to play this game were very quickly let down by the fact that the game was an unfinished, buggy mess that was missing some of the features that made the previous game so fun and unique. To give Paradox some small amount of credit, a lot of the bugs have been fixed in the 3 months since it launched, but it's still missing some of the features that are needed to make the game a fun, complete experience. It's clear why Paradox did this, so people who found the base game interesting would be forced to buy the DLCs to have a fun game to actually play. This is the same type of shit they pulled with games like Hearts of Iron 4 and City Skylines, making the base game into some kind of free demo that gets people to buy the overpriced, expensive DLC so they can actually have fun.
Hearts of Iron 4 had one of the worst base games to when you compare to what you get now if you buy all the DLCs. This isn't because the DLCs turn it into some 10 out of 10 game or anything, but because they finish the product that you buy when you buy the main game. It is expected now that when you do buy Paradox games, you have to be ready to also spend the mandatory $100 on the mandatory 20 or so DLCs to have an actual finished complete game. I must clarify that while other Paradox games remain buggy messes even with the DLC, Hoi 4 has gotten a lot better and the base game has been updated along with adding new DLCs. The most annoying part of this whole situation is that with all the DLCs, most of Paradox's games are really fun. Despite what it sounds like so far in this video, I'm actually a big fan of their games and I would highly recommend them if you're into history or grand strategy games in general. I think it's annoying that good games are ruined because their publisher decides to be shitty about the DLC tactics. However, not all is lost. Like I said before, the communities around these games are very passionate, and there are a lot of mods that have been created that make the game genuinely fun, regardless of what DLC you own. There are mods for almost all of their games, and they honestly add so much to the game and add so much replayability. Aside from mods, there are some rare DLCs that actually do feel like genuine DLCs, like No Step Back for Hearts of Iron 4, which does add new features that do genuinely build off what is already there, instead of adding new stuff that should have been there from the start. But yeah, in conclusion, Paradox games are really good, and if you're thinking about getting them, just be prepared that there are a lot of DLCs because Paradox is a shitty company that happens to make great games. Hey guys, so thank you for watching my first ever attempt at making a long form video and my first ever attempt at editing something that isn't like 30 seconds long. So if you could please subscribe or leave any feedback you have in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. That would help a ton with making future videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time.